It's the Barbara Show, coming your way with a smile today. Down the humorous path with a lark and a laugh. It's the Barbara Show. The Barbara Show. Welcome to Humorous Adventures with Barbara.
Well, welcome again to the Humorous Adventures with Barbara. Today's topic is having fun with friends. When I was a little girl, after school, maybe third or fourth grade, me and my friend would walk to her house first, and her family ordered the TV guide. And in the TV guide it said, draw a Bambi and send it in, and you could win $50. And my friend and I would have the same piece of paper and the same drawing utensils. In a matter of minutes, she would make this beautiful Bambi. And I would look at mine and didn't even come close. Like maybe, I have no idea. And, you know, it's not to say that I didn't try. I did try. But, you know, I think it's very interesting with gifts that people are given. I just know I'm not an artist. In school, we would draw maps, and you had to shade the mountains, get the shading in, and I saw what they were talking about, but I just colored it in. Okay. Now, the only one time did I get compliments on my drawing, and that was one map. The history teacher said, Barbara got an A on her map drawing, and I was shocked. And he said, the reason why is you can see it from the far corner of the room, because all I did was color each state in with bright colors as best as I could do. It had nothing to do with the shadowing of the map. But hey, what are you going to do? My friends and I would like to go to happy hour a lot. And we tended to go, and happy hour tends to be a little noisy. So there's a lot of noise in the background. And I know I have a Boston accent, and I had friends from the UK who introduced me some friends from Scotland. And this one particular girl from Scotland had a very thick accent. So it was hard enough understanding her without the noise. But with the noise in the background, I really had no clue. And she was having a hard time understanding me. So we came up with the idea of writing what we had to say to each other on a napkin while the band was playing. And she would say something, and then I would reply with the napkin, and she'd give me her napkin. And then we later found out that people around us were starting to feel bad for us because they made the assumption that we were deaf mutes. You know, go figure. But I love to do things for a reaction. And here are some of the things that I've done. I once was at a club, and it was a restaurant, and they had a live band. And when the band went on break, I don't know, it just occurred to me, we had some garlic bread at the table. I took a piece of garlic bread, I put it on my shoulder, and I walked up to unsuspecting strangers and started up a conversation, a very serious conversation. And their eyes would look, and I clearly saw that they saw that I had a piece of garlic bread on my shoulder. However, they never said anything. So after a while, after talking with them, I would move on to some other people, and that's what kept on happening. I'd talk to them, I'd see their eyes, they wouldn't mention the garlic bread, and inside, I'm just cracking up. I thought that was hysterically funny. Another time I was at a hotel, and they were checking in bags, but they also had packages, and I saw that they were labeling some of the packages with these big stickers that said fragile in big uppercase letters. So I asked the bell captain if I could have one of those stickers, and I put it right on my shirt, like front and center. And then a bunch of us walked outside of the hotel to walk to a restaurant to eat. And there were crowds of people walking by. It was bright out, it wasn't dark. And clearly I had this big fragile sign on my body, and I'm walking. And again, I could see people looking, and then if I try to make eye contact, they look away like I'm some kind of crazy. Which brings me to why I'm wearing what we would call here a fascinet. You know, in England, I mean, this hat really has no purpose, but boy, isn't it cute? And it's called a fascinet. Now, I was telling my friends about my fascinet that I bought because initially I was with some other friends and we were downtown at this hat shop, and I love hats. I'm a hat woman. What could I say? And I bought this hat, and another friend of mine bought a hat, and we're walking downtown. Now, I'm wearing this outfit. I'm wearing a baseball shirt and black leggings. I mean, I'm definitely not dressed up, but I have the fascinet on my head. And so did my friend. And we're walking downtown, and people are, once again, looking, but not really saying anything. So I was taking a trip back to Boston for a reunion, and I knew I couldn't pack the fascinet. And they were just very curious what it looked like. And I wanted to be wearing it at the reunion because I had a nice black velvet dress. It would go great with this. So the day the Super Shuttle picks me up to take me to the airport, it's about 5 o'clock in the morning, again, wearing an outfit. Well, it was this outfit with the fascinet. And so I'm in the shuttle, and they're looking at me, but I'm looking straight ahead, pretending like, what's wrong? And no one said anything to me. And then my flight connected in Dallas, and I'm in the airport. And again, I get the looks, but no one is saying anything to me. And then one person at a restaurant said, "Are you an actress?" And, I just started laughing. But I did it the whole weekend I was in Boston. I mean, I was just wearing the fascinet no matter what. And I don't know. I just think it has a little flair. Now, switching the topic to food, which is one of my loves, I love buffets. Love them. Because I eat mass quantities of one thing. And when I'm ready to eat, I might not eat breakfast or lunch as a regular rule. I just eat one meal a day. But when I'm ready to eat, watch out. So I'm with a bunch of friends. We're in Vegas at a buffet. We all go up, and I'm piling on. In this particular case, I had like a whole pile of shrimp. And, a shrimp goes in, a tail comes out. A shrimp goes in, a tail comes out. I actually had a whole plate of like tails. I think the people at the buffet thought underneath my shirt I might have taped some plastic bags, because to look at me, you wouldn't think that I could eat so much food, but yeah, I'm crazy. So at a certain point, like at any buffet, you get up and you get rid of the old plate, and then you pile up some new plate. Well, the table right next to us, no one was there. It looked all messed up, and I thought, I didn't know what to do with my old plate. It didn't seem to be a spot. So I picked up my old plate, I put it on the table next to ours, and then I proceed to go and get more stuff. And when I come back to my table, the table I had put my plate on, they didn't leave. They all got up at the same time to get new stuff. So I could hear them, "Is this your plate? Is this your plate?" My old plate is at their table, and they're wondering who at their table, just left their disgusting stuff over there. Now, another topic is gambling. I'm not a gambler. But the first thing I did was to go to the Del Mar racetrack. And I had never been before. We went with about 6 guys and 6 girls. And we get down there, and the guys are studying the playbook. They're walking down there. They're looking at the horses. They're trying to talk to the trainer because they're going to make some significant bets. They're going to win. Now, me, I never really expect to win, and I'm not a big gambler, and I know nothing about horses. So I decide, you can bet to win, you can bet to place, or you can bet to show. And if you bet to show, you could just, pick one, the third. If they come in 1, 2, or 3, you could still win some money, but you don't win a lot of money if you're only betting $2. But it's just the fun of it, right? So I am looking at the playbill, and again, I'm not looking at the horses or anything. I'm looking at names that appeal to me. But they said, "Oh, Barbara, there's this pick 6. And it's only a $2 bet. You could bet more, but it's only $2. But you have to pick the winner of the 2nd race to the winner of the 7th race." And I'm like, who picks 6 winners in a row. That's like impossible. But they said, all you have to do is put $2 down. So I said, well, all right. So the bets are in. I did all these side bets, and I did my show bets in the pick 6. So the first race comes on, and the one I bet to show wins. So I go up to the window and I get $2. Woo! And then the next race, the one I picked to win, when the one I picked to show wins, and again I go up, claim my $3. And then the third race, same thing, the one I bet to show wins, and I maybe collect $2 again. And then the fourth race, the one I bet to show, wins. Now I'm 4 for 4 on the pick 6 bet. I can't believe it. I wasn't saying anything to anybody, but then I started telling my friends, and they said, you got to be kidding, because with all their studying and everything about the horses and the trainers, they were out, but I was still in there. So now the fifth race, I'm crossing everything. I'm crossing my legs. I'm crossing my hands. I hope the one I picked will win, and I lose. So I'm like bummed out. But they said, no, if you still pick 5 out of the 6, you'll still win a lot of money. And sure enough, the one I bet to show wins. I couldn't believe it. If I had gotten all 6 winners, I would have won on that $2 bet $30,000 on a $2 bet, because as it happens, those horses were kind of long shots. But even picking the 5 from out of the 6, I ended up winning $800. Can you believe it? $800 on a $2 bet. So in looking back at what I had done, because I picked Big Dan, for my brother. The horses I was just picking by name, but when looking back, I was actually picking 2 jockeys. Either it was Chris McCarron or Gary Stevens. Chris McCarron or Gary Stevens. So when I went to go horse gambling again at the track, I thought, now I have a system. Forget what the horse's name is. Forget it looking anything. Anytime Chris McCarron is running or Gary Stevens, I'm picking that horse. I went with that philosophy the following year, and guess what? I didn't win anything. Now, there's another story I have about gambling, and that's at the dog track. Once again, I'm studying the names, or as best as I can, with a bunch of friends, and then they told us, you should box 4 dogs, because then, you get a lot more money. And we would study it and box the 4 dogs that we thought would win, and then the 4 dogs that we didn't pick won. And this kept happening. So then our plan was the reverse strategy. Study the ones that you think will win, but then bet the other 4. And then that didn't win either. I don't know. I just couldn't win on this gambling situation. Anyway, I would just like to say, thank you for joining me on the Humorous Adventures with Barbara.
It's the Barbara Show. It's the Barbara Show. Coming your way with a smile today. Down the humorous path with a lark and a laugh. It's the Barbara Show. The Barbara